Oh, good morning. It's very, very early in the morning. I just really wanted to come and talk to you guys. I had another conversation with some potential friends. So if you're watching this, I really look forward to the day to call you a friend. One, it's just morning. It's a bit foggy. We had a harsh rain last night, but the rain itself only lasted like 30-45 minutes, but it's just winter time, so it's winter and you have to prep. And I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes in the morning before doing anything else, saying hello, getting some thoughts off my mind, and being outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but the birds are chirping and calling my name. They're actually not calling my name, they're just chirping. I don't even know what language they chirp in. They just chirp. But it's very early in the morning. It's even before 6 o'clock. I was trying to catch the sunrise, but the fog. See, I didn't even see the coloring in the sky. It's just, it's off tilted, but it's beautiful. And as I told you before, there is construction going on, so people believe in working in the morning. I wanted to answer the question about cost of living, and I think it's a very, very hard question to answer. It seemed like it should be cut and dry. It should be like, oh, it's 20% or something like that, but it's not, because you don't really have a concept of it, and it's really hard to understand it unless you've lived internationally, possibly, because the cost of living is really, really detail deep and different. I'm going to explain this first. If you are just looking to move to Rwanda and you've started house hunting and you're looking to see what they have on the internet and you're looking at different things, rest assured and know this first thing. When you're looking at homes on the internet, when you're looking at cost of living, when you're trying to figure out your averages or your bases or whatever, that on the internet, people are catered to people who have internet, which means majority of the times you're catering to people who are your clientele of expats. And so you're also working with your expat prices there. Think about advertising, being on the internet, doing all those things are cost. And people who can have those costs or that advertising are able to do that. So one thing that happens a lot is people are like, well, I saw this on the internet, I saw this on the internet. Once you get here, it's different. And it's not different in a bad sense, like everything on the internet is true. It's just there's a lot more options that you might not have known about. There's a lot more conversations. Things are negotiable. It's different if you're paying in USD, if you're paying in francs, if you're paying in cash, if you're paying with checks, if you're paying with Momo money or whatever. Just things are always different, so it's always a conversation. However, your cost of living, and when we talk about that, not even majority, like I'm gonna say if you looked at your life at 100%, probably 70% is going to be housing. 70% of your lifestyle or what you spend will possibly be housing, depending on what you want your housing to be and look like. And so when you do see housing for 700, 800, 900, one, it is truly worth it. Two, majority of times, a lot of times, you can get your electricity negotiated in, Wi-Fi negotiated in. If you're doing home Wi-Fi, you want to ask for Liquidtel or whatever, but you can get your Wi-Fi in, you can get your cable or television in, you can get your gas or water, you can get certain things included in it or opposite, as well as when you're talking about 800 to 900, you're talking about furnished, meaning that all of the items come in. And actually, that is one of your most popular ways to rent out here, because it's such a heavy expat area. So when you're talking about these high rents, they also include everything. So when you talk about cost of living, those are things you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about a gas man and topping up. You don't have to worry about your water. You don't have to worry about those things. Those things are being taken care of for you. And there's a truth to convenience. Like there's convenience fees, there's convenience buying, and all of those other things. The other things too with housing you might not know, so you have to always ask that question is, does security come with? A lot of times if you're renting a house, you might have security already there who's already doing the groundwork for you, so you're not having to do the grounds and the keeping and all those things. So there's a lot that goes into that, but we're here about cost of living. So I say that because you can get, I know a couple people who've gotten 1-bedroom apartments for like $350. I know houses for $500. You can get what you want or what you're looking for, or you can get like 80%. It's the 80-20 rule. Like the cabinets might not match, y'all. The cabinets might not just match. Just let that go. But you can get what you want or what you're interested in once you really kind of settle down, know the people, know which neighborhood you want to be in, and just really communicate and talk, because not everything that's for rent or whatever is on display. Like we saw a gorgeous home for rent and there was no sign or anything else like that, but it was actively rented. Like you just really have to dig in and know people. Now, I really want to talk about cost of living. I say it's hard because I Googled it before I came, and it was like, the cost of living is 48%. It was like either 48 or 57% of the US dollar. I have no clue what that means. And you won't until you get here, because legitimately, I'm going to say this first, in my highballing, highballing, and I've been highballing, I've been P. Diddy shaking it, right, and doing it. I'm probably budgeting $200 US a week, and trust that, that's only because I had to like buy stuff to stock the house. I got outfits. Y'all gonna see that video. I get outfits, y'all. I get fits made because I want to. I acted a fool at two lunches. Hope the kids don't see this, but if you partake in things other than juices, or you put more than juice in your drink, didn't mean to say that, that's gonna cost you a little bit more versus, well, I'll just be honest, like if you drink a beer, beers are like $1. But if you want to do the cocktails, then you being bougie, poo-poo, whatever. And the type of restaurants. I've been going to your big time restaurants. Now, I say all that because if I'm going to a big time restaurant, my average meal is usually like $9 US, which is 9,000 francs. And I'm talking about that's your golden meal, and then you get your 2 drinks on top of that. So I have never spent more than 23,000, I gotta work on this, 23,000 francs eating out. But I do eat out every day. So, and that on top of the extra stuff that I bought, like I legitimately can go to $100 a week budget and still be perfectly fine. And do all the things that I do there. So I say that because your cost of living, it depends on the type of transportation you decide to use. It depends on if you're eating out, if you're cooking, how often you eat, what you choose to eat, and where you eat. And then it depends on what you call your extracurricular activities, if you call those things. And then when you talk about your laundry or help, like I pay for laundry, I give an entire basket this big, I pay $7 US. It just comes down to, I don't want to say lifestyle, but it's lifestyle. But the cost of living on our end, especially when you're pulling in your US currency, your Western currency, it's beyond affordable. You're going to save money, and it doesn't seem like that because you might not be working with the high numbers that we're used to working with wages. If you come out and you're negotiating a contract, you're not negotiating at numbers we're used to, but the saving potential is weird because you're not going to spend that much, especially if you cut down your bills on the US side or all of those other expenses. You're not going, when I say maximum 200, oh yeah, because I did act a fool with that. I gifted some people some stuff. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's why I was at 200. because I don't know if you've seen the Us Giving event. I hosted it. I'll talk about that later, hopefully make a video. And so there were some things that I did at cost to help support that. I forgot about that, yeah. So the money hasn't, I'm not even gonna say I'm at 150. Like everything that I've chosen to do have been like, I chose to do this, it's a one-time spending, and I'm not going to do that. So easily, I would say you can budget yourself out at 500 US a month, and that is going out. That is not saying no to things that you want to say no to, and that is, I'll sit here and say this, if you're trying not to be touristy. I know I live here. And there's a lot of touristy things to do. I want to go to the lakes. I want to go to volcanoes. I want to do all of these things. But I don't have to do them all in the first month I'm here, because I live here now. This is my address, so I can space out my trips over time. I can also get, that's the thing, if you're moving out here, my visa, once you get your residence visa, or if you're getting the business license, you get your visa for that, all of those attractions go down significantly, because then you qualify for your residence discount. And so therefore, if you're going to do some of these travels or things or not, wait for you to get your visa, because it brings it down significantly. So I don't know, can you see the sun coming out? The sun is coming out. Some bird ain't got their morning coffee. They are grouchy with it. But that's the cost of living, and that's why I say it's really hard to explain. But you can budget. You can do so much. Yeah, labor here, I want to say, is cheap. So I also say that please tip. If you watch Theo's Back did a phenomenal video. I'll see if I have time to link it, over what he thinks the average wages are. He's been out here like 3 years now, and I think he's talked to his friends. Tip people. People are good-hearted. They're trying. People are making ends meet. Everybody's doing a little bit of something. Our dollar means something different to us than it does to other people out here. Give it. It is not a big deal. And I'll probably watch this video, so everybody's gonna be like, tip, 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 tip. Nah, I ain't that nice in the face. But yeah, you can really do a lot. You can be a lot. It's just really hard, I say, to talk about the cost of living. But if you have questions, please put it down. I'll try to answer it. It's not a stress. I know I talk more about the currency thing, because if you're coming out here to build and have a business, you have to understand that part too. And I hope I'm not rambling, so I'm going that. Like, if you want to come out here and you're like, oh gosh, I want to sell cakes. Cakes are bomb. My cakes are the bomb. I can do all this stuff. Okay, you can sell cakes, but back in the States, your cake might have gone for like a whole cake. You might sell the whole cake for $20 or whatever. You're not going to sell a whole cake for that out here, because your wages are down. So you might sell it for $5 or whatever. So it's going to be harder for you to build income out here that measures aligned to US. You can be the same percentage. It might not be this much, but it's not worth that much. So that's why I say a lot about build your currency, so you have your strong foundation. But if you're living at 500 US dollars a month, rent not included, you're fine. You're absolutely, positively fine. I'm single though, so that's my numbers. But like I said, it's totally doable. It's all about your transportation. It's all about if you get a driver, if you use motos, if you use the bus, if you use taxis. But it's possible, and that's one reason why I said reach out and start talking to people, because everybody has different goals and agendas, and because of that, there's also different spending. But your cost of living, point blank, after you deal with your rental or your housing, is very low. It's very low. Very low, very, very low, and very doable. So that's my video for this morning. I have things to do. I got agenda. The sun is coming out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Oh, I'm about to hit it. Tomorrow. That was the jam. I'm really got to go play that. That was the jam. If you don't know about that jam, you're too young for me. Like, yo, you know nothing about the redhead Annie. I love my black Annie, but that was the jam. And it made you feel good. But that's it. I'm probably just going to upload this one, not cut it, because I do have other things to do, but I wanted to get it out to you. If you're trying to move, you don't worry about the cost of living, but you're not going to understand it until you touch ground. Spend your month, 2 months, ball out, and then budget. Ball out and then budget. Ball out, then budget. But do that. I'll talk to you later. JS's Journeys. Check out my websites. Check out my Instagrams. I post all that stuff below. But I appreciate talking to y'all, and I appreciate you just clicking and listening. Check you later.